usually the way people pleasing is defined, at least when I was looking this up, it's usually the person who rarely says no, obsesses over things that they shouldn't, and just tries so hard to do all the things. There's probably a high probability that this person's also a woman. And really all this hard work is not really getting her ahead, not getting her where she wants to be. So why is that? And how can we stop being people pleasers?
Oh my gosh, it's a great topic. So I see the idea of people pleasing as being pretty synonymous about two ideas that I focus on in my work. One is good girl thinking. The other is the myth of meritocracy. And I'll kind of talk you through some of the bias that comes up as well. If we're talking about it in the workplace, like in the corporate sphere, when you are behaving like a good girl, that manifests in things like, oh, you don't correct the client who walks in the room and addresses the man like they're the leader when you're really the one in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Or you pick up all the office housework. I'm sure that you've heard of that, the note taking or, the picking up the food for the office party. And, you just do it because women are associated with those types of activities. And, sometimes you feel like you'll just do it best and you'll just take care of it. But the problem is that doing those things, office housework, it takes you away from doing more credible activities that actually advance your career and are more attributed to, being somebody that delivers results. So I think that the good girl thinking is it's this pressure to be nice, because girls and women are nice, but not too nice because you don't want to be a pushover and you also won't be seen as leadership material. And, you want to be confident so that you can command respect, but not too confident or you're going to seem like a bitch or too ambitious. You have to be forgiving, let things go. You have to be devoted because women should put their companies above their personal lives. But yet when they do that and they're mothers, then they're even judged more harshly. So it's just all very exhausting. And I think about how much more we could achieve if we were more focused on being comfortable and being ourselves and letting our true perspective come through. And like the basis for a lot of this, what I've learned in study is that it all boils back to that lack of permission historically for us to really assert ourselves, and handle conflict. We're never really taught the skills to say no. And I have two daughters, and my oldest is a Girl Scout Daisy. You can become a Daisy when you're 5. And the Girl Scouts now are actually even working on an initiative, with a badge that encourages girls to say, like, no, they don't want to be hugged or, touched by someone they don't know, even if it's a family member. I mean, think about that. Like the things that kind of you're conditioned to allow in your life at an early age. Like a little boy can run away and scream and throw out his tongue. Whereas a little girl has to sit there with her legs crossed and like hi to everybody and hug everybody. So, this also, that second part that I said, this stems from this belief that's wrong, that we live in a meritocracy, that, do your work, put your head down, smile, don't make waves, and you're going to get rewarded. And that's simply not true. But yet that's why we do so well in the academic setting. More women are graduating than men in 93 countries. And, we're really good at getting all A's and checking the box. But guess what? It's not an even playing field. And we're not setting ourselves up for success. We're not earning the same. We've got the wage gap, women earning 89 cents for every dollar a man earns in the millennial category. And it gets worse and worse as you get older. And if you're a woman of color. So, I mean, that's the things that I've learned about. One hand, just having this language and understanding and being aware helps us fight back, and kind of just understand with eyes wide open what we're walking into. The part about meritocracy is you've got to learn that relationships, how you leverage them, and how you make your work more visible, that overpowers the effects of merit. And that's where women can fall short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gosh, everything you said was it's so good. And it's so true. And it's interesting because I feel like when you were describing, what girls are doing, it works really well when you're in school, but it doesn't work well for real life. And I absolutely experienced that myself because I always say, like, I played the game of school so well, but then it was like crash and burn in real life because none of that mattered, there was no list for me to take. There was no professor who was going to give you a syllabus that you had to follow. Like, oh my goodness, it was just a bit of a like catch-22. And I don't know, is that like a millennial thing or is that all of it?
No, no,
Okay.
no, no. I was gonna see if I can share a quick
Yeah.
story. I interviewed so many women for Dig Your Heels In, and one woman, Anne, but she wanted to remain anonymous. She worked in the airline industry, and she got hired right out of her MBA. So she's someone that identifies as Gen X. Is why I'm sharing the story. So she broke into this organization, and she spent like a decade in that extreme job mode where she was working 60 hours a week. She had moved away from her family. She wanted to prove her dedication to the company. And if you looked at it on paper, it looked like she was doing pretty well. She kept getting title promotions like every 2 years. She led this new acquisition. When she talks about what she did, she can talk about the innovations she led, from customer service to like process improvement. I mean, she really did so much stuff, and she had a boss that she felt like really appreciated her. So she speaks up after 10 years and says, hey, I think it's time that I get like a real promotion, move into a different department, diversify my skills, lead a bigger team. And so they had a talent identification, which, is a process most companies do, where they look at who has potential and make some decisions. And this happens. Her boss comes back and says to her, so the leaders in the room feel like you have a good reputation, but nobody knows what you actually do. That was like, shock to
Gosh.
the heart. Like the
Yeah.
wake up call that she needed. She was like, wait a minute, I've been like counting on you all of this time to tell them. But come on, like he's just like taking on the results, and
Right.
not that he didn't value her, but that was like her wake up call of like, oh my gosh, like I've been just killing myself, and it's impacted personal decisions in my life. Like I should have been out there making those relationships, talking about what I'm doing, and you don't have to do it in a way that doesn't feel authentic. But if you don't sell yourself and get that brand out there, no one else is going to do it for you.
Yeah.